following is a presentation of 2 Sports, the leader in local sports coverage. Welcome to Lehigh Valley Sports Scene.
Nick Bowen tosses a 4-hitter, leading Martins Creek to a 4-1 Game 1 victory over Starters in the Blue Mountain League Championship. The Chicago Bandits steal a 4-3 victory over the Philadelphia Force. The 10-inning affair leads to another win for first-place Chicago. More football previews from Freedom and Penn Argyl, while camp is officially over for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not all fun and games here. We're all business. Sports Scene up next. Welcome to the Lehigh Valley Sports Scene alongside Tom Mykrantz. I'm Al DiCarlo, and 34-game season and now into the championship for the Blue Mountain League. And, you know, when it's all said and done, only one will stand. Last year was Hellertown. This year we'll have to wait and see. Is it going to be Starters or will it be Martins Creek? Game 1 last night.
You got to figure Starters has a lot of momentum after sweeping Hellertown last week, but they haven't played since last Thursday, maybe a little rusty. The 2 most historic teams in the Blue Mountain League are Martins Creek and the Starters Orioles. Only fitting that the 2 teams who have combined for 9 league titles are playing for this year's championship. The best-of-5 series began last night with Martins Creek hosting at Pacioli's Field. Angelo DiCarlo has the highlights.
Martins Creek looking to jump out in front in Game 1 of the Blue Mountain Championship Series. They do just that in the bottom of the first as Jim Happel singles to left. Jim Borden rounds third. He will score. It's 1-0. The Creekers looking to add more with 2 on, but Ryan Zimmerman with a great catch. It's still 1-0. In the top of the second, Starters evens things up after a costly 2-out error by pitcher Nick Bowen. BML rookie Eric Vogt of Emmaus singles in Dave Stout, tying the game at 1. In the bottom half, 2 on, 2 out, Brandon Nardella deep to left. Eric Kresge just can't make the catch. 2-run score. It's now 3-1 Martins Creek. And from there, Bowen would be devastating on the mound. He gives up just 2 hits in the final 5 innings, striking out the final 2 batters of the 5th, and then 3 of the 4 batters he faces in the 6th. And in the 7th, he jumpstarts the game-ending double play. Martins Creek takes Game 1 of the best-of-5 championship series 4-1 behind a great performance by Nick Bowen.
I found the slider, halfway through the game. I didn't have it early, and he wasn't giving it to me for a strike on the outer half. And then, I started throwing it for a strike, and it was breaking well. And then I just had two pitches I could throw at him, and, went from there.
He was unbelievable tonight. He was hitting his spots, getting ground balls, fly balls. Infield played good defense behind him. He pitched well.
They've owned us for 3 years. They won 4 out of 5 against us this year. They knocked us out last year. 2 years ago, they had a guy throw a no-hitter against us in the playoffs. So, when we see the Orioles coming into Pacioli Field, it's usually not a good ending. But like I told some guys on the team, I guess we're due then. They've dominated us for so long that it's time for the balls to start dropping in our favor.
Every game against them is important. They knocked us out 2 years in a row, and we can't beat them to save our lives. So today was huge, for the series and for, mentally as far as the last 2 years go. So, this series is huge. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
First game of the series, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for this team across the field here. So, like I told my guys, try to stay quiet. One game's just one game. It is a 5-game series, so, I want to be happy, but I also want to keep it a little bit under wraps.
Game 2 of this championship series now moves to Egypt's Memorial Field on Thursday night at 5:45. In Martins Creek, Angelo DiCarlo, 2 Sports.
Well, staying on the diamond but turning to professional softball, the inaugural season of the Philadelphia Force is coming to a close, with just 1 homestand remaining after tonight's game with Chicago. Last night, the Force came from behind, only to come up short when it was all said and done. We head out to ECTB Stadium at Bicentennial Park for this one. No score until the top half of the 3rd inning. Chicago checking in with a league best record of 28-9. They get the first run on a bases-loaded single by Mackenzie Vandergeest. That scores Jamie Clark, but Trent Appeal is thrown out at 3rd on the force play by Lindsey Cameron. The Bandits then add another run on an RBI single to left field by Amanda Williams. Stacey May would score 2-0 in favor of Chicago after 3 innings of play. The Force battle back in the fourth. Cameron strokes a double to deep center field. It stays in the park as it goes off the glove of Williams. Ryan Rialmoto on her horse comes all the way around to score to close the gap to 2-1. Then in the 6th inning, the big blast by Rialmoto. This a 2-run shot over the fence in center field. No doubt about this one, her 2nd home run of the year. And the Force have their first lead of the game by the score of 3-2. Definitely excitement for the Force at that point, but the Force's lead is short-lived. In the top half of the 7th, Jamie Clark ties the game at 3 as she goes yard over the fence in left field. This one would eventually go to extra innings, and at the top of the 10th, Amanda Williams with a routine ground ball, but it does the job, giving the Bandits a 4-3 lead. That proves to be the winning run as the Force fall for the 2nd straight time. In the game, they lose 4-3. They drop to 13-25 overall, while Chicago improves to 29-9. The final game of the series is tonight. Game time and live coverage from ECTV Stadium at Bicentennial Park is set for 7 o'clock. One other note, baseball-wise, Matt McBride, the Lehigh grad and Liberty grad, is going to make his appearance in the New York Penn League All-Star Game tonight. He leads the team in RBIs. He leads the second in the team in hitting. That, of course, the short season New York Penn League. And he's only played, I think, a third of the games compared to everyone else. So he's really having success in that New York Penn League, the Cleveland Indians single-A affiliate.
Certainly exciting for him now. Now he's playing with his ex-battery mate from Lehigh, Kyle Kalina, who's recently called up to the Mahoning Valley Scrappers.
Yep, they are the Scrappers.
The Scrappers. We're going to scrap on. When we come back after the break, we'll check in with our high school football camps, Freedom and Penargil, under the microscope.
Feel a little bit funky now. Feel a little bit mean. Back down a little bit dirty. Feel a little bit mean. Yeah. Feel good.
Meet the girls of summer, the Philadelphia Force.
Girl is bad.
Tuesday is Mardi Gras night. The first 400 fans will receive Mardi Gras beads.
Time to learn one of our most powerful diverting phrases. We're working on it. Repeat.
We're working on it.
Good. Sanders. How come there's no local office?
We're working on it?
More confident. Why do I have to sign a contract?
We're working on it.
Outstanding. What about high-speed internet?
We're working on it.
Interesting.
Sir, are we working on it?
Define working.
Service Electric, more local channels and exclusive local programming not available on Dish.
Pumpkin, what are you doing up there?
The new ABE Car Care Center got a new truck lift, and I just had to try it out.
You know what? As a car care customer, you are special because they take the time to talk to their customers about their vehicles.
Yeah, they're the best.
Pumpkin, come down from there.
No, I'm having fun. This is nice.
Pumpkin, come down from there. I have a donut for you.
That's all right. I brought my own donut.
ABE Car Care Centers.
The unexpected has happened. You've been injured at work. Your company says they'll be there for you, but your bills continue to grow with each day. Your fate will be in the hands of strangers. Will you be prepared for them? They're prepared for you. Turn to the law firm of Michael J. O'Connor & Associates, your workers' compensation and personal injury lawyers. Michael J. O'Connor & Associates. Let us fight for your rights.
Volpe's Sports Bar, where every day you can have a select 16-ounce draft special for just $1 anytime. Stop by Volpe's, 1926 Tillman Street, Allentown. Catch all the big games and have some tasty food and drink.
You're watching national award-winning local programming from Service Electric Cable TV 2, serving northeastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey from Allentown.
Service Electric Cable TV.
In 1948, by running a simple TV cable, Service Electric launched an entire industry. In the 58 years since, we've reached many milestones, like giving your life clarity and definition, connecting you to the world faster, and letting your voice be heard, while never forgetting what got us here. And now, 3 generations strong, John Wasson Jr. and John Wasson III continue the Service Electric tradition of cable TV and communications excellence. And we're proud of John Wasson Sr.'s recent induction into the National Cable Television Hall of Fame. Service Electric Cable TV and Communications, a clear vision for the future.
Every football team looks to qualify for the postseason, but this year the Freedom Patriots really want to get there, and they feel they have what it takes. It's the second year for head coach Jason Roeder's system in place, and with numbers quite high, things are looking promising. But the Pates know a lot of work needs to be done. Regina Patuchny has more from Freedom's first week of the long-awaited football camp.
The Freedom Patriots have officially put their 2-8 2005 season behind them, and with second-year head coach Jason Roeder at the helm, things seem to be moving in a positive direction.
It's a whole different ball game. You know, they're more comfortable with me. They know what I expect. I'm more comfortable with them, and like I said, just day-to-day practice, it's a lot more comfortable.
The coaches just fire us up every day. We're out here to get better. We're out here to be better than last year. No one on this team wants to have a better record like that last year. It's horrible. But I think we're going to be a lot better than last year, most definitely.
Another thing that Coach Roeder is excited about this year is the numbers compared to last year's team. There's less than 15 seniors, but the overall players have gone from over 40 to more than 75, setting up some good inter-squad competition.
We're going to be young, but we're not going to complain about having numbers. The one thing with having low numbers like we did last year, it's hard to have competitive practices. And with 70-plus guys in pads right now, we're getting a much better look in practice and having much more competitive practices, which I think is something we need to be successful.
I think that, obviously coming off a couple of tough seasons, that this is going to be the season that you guys break through.
I think this is it. I definitely think this is it. Just the emotion, the love we have for each other. It has to be. No one wants to say goodbye to each other in that locker room after that Liberty game. You know what I mean? As great of a day that is, no one wants to say goodbye then.
Maximum effort day in and day out is what the coaching staff at Freedom is asking of their players, and so far the intensity, fire, and desire seem to be present from the old and new, as they all strongly believe in their coaches.
We're just so close. We're a young team. There's not many seniors. The younger guys are looking up to the older guys. We're just flying around, happy to be out here, happy to have a new coaching staff. Absolute faith in the new coaching staff is a big thing this year.
The coaches are more it's their second year. They're more harder on us for more discipline. I think a good team always has discipline. If you don't have discipline, you're not a good team.
So expect the Freedom Patriots to be young but athletic. With the toughness of the LVC, Freedom's success will ride on how quickly these young players become varsity football quality.
I think we just need to keep on getting better at practice. We need to step it up every day. If you don't step it up, you're just going to go on a slope. We just need to keep high intensity, and we'll be ready to go.
You're not kidding to say the LVC is competitive, and this year is no different. In order for us to be competitive, we have to gel very quickly, and that's what we're stressing. We started stressing from day one. There is a sense of urgency. We can't just kind of make our way through 2 weeks of preseason camp. We need to start gelling now. Our young kids need to grow up now, and we need to start doing things the right way right from the start. If we're going to be competitive in this league, we can't waste any time.
Coach Roeder's sense of urgency is right around the corner, as his Freedom Patriot team will have their first test of the 2006 season on Saturday when they scrimmage Whitehall. On the scene at Freedom High School, Regina Patuchny, 2 Sports.
Well, after winning an amazing 36 straight Colonial League games and 4 titles, the Penn Argyl football team has fallen on hard times the last couple of seasons, coming off a 4-6 05 campaign in which Eric Sampson's Green Knights won the last 2 games of the year. Penn Argyl hopes that this season will mark the return to league success. Doug Heater has a look at this year's Penn Argyl Green Knights.
With convincing wins over rivals Notre Dame and Bangor to close the season, head coach Eric Sampson hopes those two games will propel his team into what he feels could be a very solid season.
Well, I think it was really important. We did some real positive things the last two games, especially with being a little bit more aggressive. Things that we were having some issues with during the season, and I think we got those corrected. Our whole offensive line's back. The kids worked really hard in the offseason. We had a great season in the weight room. We broke a lot of records this past summer. So I'm hoping that translates into some improvement on the football field. We'll have to wait and see, but we're really excited about it, real excited.
With changes to the offensive backfield and the return of the entire offensive line, things may look a little different when the Green Knights have the ball, but Sampson hopes the end result will be a positive one.
Our whole offensive line is back. We're really counting on Richie Smith to be a big factor on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Anton Arifai, Brian Spink, Paul Pelucio, Kevin Smith, Jeff Smith. We have a lot of guys back that played some major playing time last year, especially on the offensive line, that we're expecting big things out of. Corey Hurd and Dan Ruggiero in the backfield, Matt Schlegel. We have quite a few seniors. I think I said before, we have 15 seniors coming back, and we're expecting something out of all of them. Major contributions, a lot of kids going both ways, and some younger guys hopefully stepping up and filling some holes.
With most of the league penciling in Wilson as the league favorite, Sampson hopes his squad will sneak under the radar, but be around to make some noise at the end of the season.
I think our goal is to come out each week, get a little better, hopefully be able to play some of the stronger teams very, very competitive, and hopefully try to get on some kind of roll. We got a little bit of a roll last year at the end. We're hoping to try to pick that up at the beginning of the season. It's a very competitive league. I've been coaching in this league for 12 years now, and I think it gets a little bit more competitive every year. Some of the middle teams are moving up, some of the bottom teams have already moved up, and I think it's probably one of the most competitive AA leagues in the whole state, and I think that's going to be the same way this year.
When you get a chance to look across the league, who seems to be the team or teams to beat this season?
Well, I think most people are probably going to point towards Wilson just because they were very successful last year, especially at the end of the year. And they have a lot of kids back. A lot of their skilled people are back, and I think their offensive line is entirely back. So I think most people are going to point towards them, probably also with Salisbury and Palisades. And I know Northwestern and Palmerton both have a lot of kids back. Some of the other teams lost a lot to graduation, and we'll probably find out pretty quickly in the season whether they're ready to go again or maybe a rebuilding. So, I mean, I think we fit in somewhere. I think we're going to try to draw our own book for the rest of the season and see how we fit in and if we're able to play with the big boys or not.
The Green Knights travel to Saucon Valley on September 1st before the home opener on September the 9th against Catasauqua. On the scene from Penargil High School, Doug Heater, 2 Sports.
Well, Eric Sampson said a competitive league. The Clinton League this year should be that competitive. Lots of teams out there, and bottom line is you got to win on every given week. And this year, there's a lot of competition from all the different teams.
Coach is taking note of the improvement by Salisbury last year, and who would have thought we'd be hearing Salisbury next to contender, and we're hearing that this fall.
Well, we're hearing it from a lot of teams, yes.
All right, still ahead. The Eagles say sayonara to Lehigh, and a look at the Allen field hockey team coming up.
Hi, I'm Larry Holmes, the former heavyweight boxing champion of the world. Champion of the world for 7.5 years. I know what I was thinking. Hey, what the heck were they thinking?
Join us each and every week for the sports show that takes you inside the minds of today's hottest sports stars. Larry Holmes presents What the Heck Were They Thinking?
Now, when you go out for a repair, what's the most important item to remember?
Our tool belt. Our repair manual. Donuts.
Nice try. No, the pricing guide. Now, after your 401k, this little beauty's the best friend your retirement plan's ever going to have.
What if they pay for a monthly service plan?
Pay me now or pay me later. Either way, the force is with us.
Service Electric, more local channels and exclusive local programming not available on Dish.
More than Technicolor, TC Salon and Spa is your lifestyle. Total care. Too cute. Think Cinderella. Timeless classic. Take control.
Come as you are. Leave as you want to be. TC Salon and Day Spas, totally committed to you.
Gift certificates are available.
We often take for granted the everyday things we do with our hands, like gardening, playing the piano, or driving your car. At OAA Orthopedic Specialists, we know how important your hands are. Whether it's a simple wrist sprain, trauma, disease, or congenital disorder, OAA's hand surgeons and certified hand therapists offer the most advanced surgical and non-surgical care in the region. At OAA, you're in good hands. OAA Orthopedic Specialists. Excellence in orthopedic care.
USA Tuesday Night Fights is back and will knock you out. The only pay-per-view series featuring the greatest knockouts from your favorite fighters. Each show is guaranteed to be a knockout. Tuesday nights like we remember. They'll be going toe-to-toe each month in a new pay-per-view episode. Tuesday Night Fights Knockouts. USA Tuesday Night Fights Knockouts pay-per-view series is on Events and Demand pay-per-view.
The Eagles play their third preseason game tomorrow night, taking on the Ravens in Baltimore. Preseason camp at Lehigh broke this morning with a mock game that was closed to the public. Afterwards, head coach Andy Reid put his spin on how things went the last 3 weeks and who will play in Baltimore. Two-a-days are now history. At 3.5 weeks, it was the longest camp under Andy Reid, who led off his final press conference in Bethlehem, thanking Lehigh for letting the Eagles use its facilities.
They open their arms every year for us and allow us to come up here and use their facilities. They do a great job of maintaining them for us, and their hospitality is unbelievable. They do a heck of a job.
Monday, quarterback Donovan McNabb declared the Eagles are a Super Bowl team. 2 years ago, they were, with Terrell Owens starring at wide receiver. Emerging as the heir apparent since camp opened are wideouts Reggie Brown and Hank Baskett, who Reid says are realistic starters to open the season.
We've got quite a bit of time to go before we open, but if that happens, that happens. That's not the way Hank's been playing. Now, does he need to continue to improve? Absolutely. These next 3 weeks, he needs to continue to improve, but he's held his own out there and done a nice job.
Reid said today that McNabb will play the first half of the Ravens game. Jeff Garcia will not play, with Coy Detmer and Tim Chang splitting time in the pocket in the second half. Reno Mahe will start at running back. Correll Buckhalter's reps will be limited. Reid said he stands by Buckhalter, who missed 3 of the last 4 seasons with injuries.
He's a good player. He's a tough kid. And he's a great kid on top of that. And he's worked very hard to get himself back. We'll see how he does here. Again, I said this about he and Jerome McDougal. I think everybody's pulling for him.
Reid says wide receiver Todd Pinkston, who didn't practice until Monday due to a sore Achilles, isn't far enough along to see game action tomorrow. After the Ravens game, training camp resumes at the NovaCare complex on Saturday. Then it's 2 more preseason games versus the Steelers and the Jets.
In-field hockey action is a new year for the Allen Canaries as they set their sights high, hoping to make a return to states. But this year, there's one big difference. They're without 4 key starters who left at graduation. Even so, Leah Cosi tells us this team is confident in their abilities.
When they're not on turf, the Allen Canaries are putting in the hours at Union Terrace Park in Allentown, familiarizing themselves with both surfaces as they begin preparing for a new season. And practice this year runs anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day.
I think we have a really strong team. It's a really tight group, and it should be a good season.
We've been working really hard ever since the season ended last year. We've had our sticks in our hands, so we're trying really hard to get as far as we did last year, but we'll see.
Another year, a new season.
That's what it is, another year, a new season, and it's all new. I mean, I'm not looking at what we did last year. It was fun, it was exciting. We did accomplish a great deal of things, and getting to the state final game is wonderful. But we have our first game against East Stroudsburg South, and that's what I'm focusing on.
The Canaries are coming off of one of the best seasons they've ever had, finishing 26-1 overall with silver medals in both districts and states. And while they're hoping to have just as much success this year, they know they have their work cut out for them, filling the void left behind by Naomi Stone, Jamie Perkins, Jen Schultz, and Lamar Long.
I don't have the dynamic three that I had last year that scored 70% of my goals, so we're going to be a little weak on the offensive end, and we got to replace some defensive end, but they're a happier bunch.
While Allen turned heads with Lamar on the squad, this year they're bound to do it again as they welcome two new boys to the team. Lamar's younger brother Lucas and Casey, their former team manager. What do you like about field hockey?
I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, I've tried other sports. I played like football, basketball, tennis, golf. I don't know, I just like this one a lot.
It's a lot of hard work, a lot harder than I expected, but it's all in good. It's fun. I enjoy it.
They definitely have a lot of heart, that they love the game, and it's just great to see that.
While they're definitely putting in the work, they're not without play. Since districts last year, the team has come up with a thing they call senior games to help ease tension during practice.
If you're starting to become unfocused, our senior games, we have them, and then you get right back to work, so it works.
What would you like to see at the end of this season?
I like to see gold medals in my hands, obviously. You know, and that's what I always like to see. I like to see a banner up there in my gym that says that we are the Lehigh Valley champion, and we are the state champions, and that's the only reason why anybody coaches to get the medals, but only one team gets that championship. You know, I'm hoping it's us. We're going to strive for it to be us, and we're going to play each game one at a time to get there.
The Canaries have 3 scrimmages scheduled before they open up league play on September 6th when they host Whitehall High School at 5:30. In Allentown, Leah Cosi, 2 Sports.
The annual Ted Zeller Memorial Junior Tennis Classic began yesterday at West End Racquetball Club, with the tournament serving the Eastern Pennsylvania District. Kids from as far north as Hazleton and as far west as Reading are in town to test their skills out on the court. Kristen Mayer was on the scene to talk to some of the local competitors.
Here at West End Racquetball Club, up-and-coming tennis players from all over Eastern Pennsylvania took the court on day number 2 of this annual Ted Zeller Junior Tennis Classic.
This tournament started in Helene Zeller's backyard. She's the one that the tournament is named after. Actually, her husband, who passed away from cancer I'd say about 25 years ago. And it was to benefit him.
But after 4 years of success, the tournament had outgrown itself.
She asked me one day, can we make this tournament bigger? And I said, yeah, let's make it a USTA tournament. So back in 1983, we enlarged the tournament quite a bit because she only had one court in her backyard. And the rest is history. You have about 90 players here today and all different types of ability levels, good players, players who are just getting started. It's just, and the event does benefit the American Cancer Society.
And not only does this tournament support a good cause, but it allows these young players to work on their tennis skills in a competitive environment.
I think it's good to play this because it'll give you more experience playing with other people and like knowing how other people play so you can get better. And maybe if you want to go pro, you can know how to like play with other kids so you get better.
I'm pretty young for my age, so for 16s and 18s, so I played a lot of older kids. Good experience.
It depends who I play. Like if I play better players, it helps more, but if I play bad players, then it doesn't really help.
I think it helps me adjust to different players because yesterday I played a 9-year-old, but even though I'm 12, she was really good though, and it helped me adjust because sometimes their shots have more spin than others, so then it helps me adjust. Then I know like how to move to the ball, how to hit it for different shots.
And of course, these young players have their hearts set on making it to the finals and taking home a victory.
I hope to win it, but I don't think so because like I think I could get to the finals easily, but I don't think I'll win it because the person that's probably going to get to the finals, I've never beat him. So
this was my 3rd tournament, and I hope to win the finals because I've never won any of my tournaments yet, so I wish I could win the tournament.
Neil Curtis makes sure these kids get rewarded for their hard efforts and success.
Yeah, they all get trophies, and I put their name in the paper, so it's good.
The Ted Zeller Junior Memorial Tennis Classic will finish up tomorrow, right back here at West End Racquetball Club. On the Lehigh Valley tennis scene, Kristen Mayer, 2 Sports.
Well, you can't ask for a junior tournament being run any better than they do out at West End under the supervision of Neil Curtis and Fernando Perez.
Not at all. You know, interesting because Central Catholic practices there with the tournament going on. Their practices moved to later at night, but great job by Neil Curtis and everyone there, as you mentioned, at West End. One programming note we mentioned earlier in the show, the Force in Chicago, live coverage on 2 Sports set for 7 o'clock. That'll do it for tonight. For Tom Micrantz and everyone here at Service Electric 2 Sports, I'm Al DiCarlo. Have a great night.